They just give us a hard time to give us a second chance, like for everybody, like them fellas go do the same thing, you understand? Like, nah, it's not so. Certain time the reason we end up in the position we was like is because of the circumstance.
You're not born wicked, you're not born a criminal, you're not born a lawbreaker. There would have been any number of factors that would have coalesced, would have gone to create that defaced person.
I can encourage somebody when they're in that program, they're safe there. Yeah, they could have a better life and go to the future and find something, find a job and find something for themselves in life that can change their life.
They made mistakes, yes, but there is redemption and that there is that path that this program is affording them that they can, as it were, begin again and begin on a clean page and with a new outlook, new mindset, new awareness.
The Community Reentry Program is a program which aims to give inmates of the Bordelais Correctional Facility a second chance in life, and it is firmly because of our belief that this program, a program of this nature, can definitely help us in reducing the country's crime rate.
I think what we all hope for in the field of justice, we hope to have a reduction in criminal activity in our country. I think that is what we all hope for. And it's something that I hope all families, mothers, adopted fathers, uncles, aunties, brothers, sisters, these are the conversations that they have with their children or the persons in their care, because we all are impacted by crime, and that is one of the things that one of the ethos of the probation and parole department, that we all are impacted by crime. It's not just the victim or the family members of the offenders, but we all, it affects us in one way, shape or form.
In 2023, the management of the St. Lucia Social Development Fund felt the compulsion to make a contribution to the crime risk reduction efforts on the island based on the spike in the crime rate. We assessed the social programming landscape and we realized that there was a gap as it relates to programming, comprehensive programming for inmates and former inmates of the Bordelais Correctional Facility. As a result of that, we decided to embark on the conceptualization of a comprehensive program that would facilitate the re-entry of former inmates into society. Appreciating one, that the rate of recidivism was relatively high at in excess of 40%. Also appreciating the fact that if we are successful at re-entering former inmates into community, we will definitely have an impact as it relates to the reduction of the crime rate on the island.
Within our department, we do lots of beautiful assessments, and some of these assessments one of which we call the dynamic factor assessment. It helps us with calculating the individual's reintegration potential. And this basically gives us a score of low, medium, and high, which tells us on the likelihood or the probability of this individual reoffending, and assists us with assessing their reintegration potential. So that would help with the program with identifying whether this individual would have been a suitable participant for the project based on their reintegration potential. And the project targeted medium to high risk clients, and of course they also targeted individuals who were eligible for parole and were granted parole. They were also given that level of assistance because their reintegration potential was calculated, and of course they were eligible to reintegrate into society under parole supervision, and as such they benefited from the community reentry program as well.
I believe if I was in this year program, I believe I could have stand a chance of falling back into the same life of crime or the same wrong crowd, you know. But they have a path, they set a path for me to guide me, you know, to make sure I don't go back that road, make sure I stay on the right path. Yeah, man. So if it wasn't for the CREP program, I believe like I'd stand a chance of going back to jail, or maybe time with something worse.
As part of the program, we assist with housing assistance, we have educational assistance, we have job placement, and financial assistance, because we understand that it can be difficult and challenging to get them back on their feet. So we provide assistance in these areas. We also provide career guidance and psychosocial assistance.
The program is an 18-month program, and one of the key things that we touch on is holistic development. So in the inception of the program, each individual has to do 120 hours of life skills with trained facilitators, where we touch on topics such as conflict resolution, self-awareness, public speaking, budgeting, managing your finances, who I am, the role I play. In addition to this, we also bring in key influential figures for our society to speak to them, persons who have been where they were and who now have a message to share that they can relate to, because people find persons with similar experiences rather relatable.
One could have decided that they would embrace the job placement pathway, where we would place them in a job. We also offer them the opportunity for apprenticeship, where they could actually learn on the job and afterwards get the opportunity to attain CVQ certification. And we also offer them an opportunity to engage to initiate their own micro-enterprise, train them in the area of entrepreneurship, and also provide them with access to seed capital to get their business off the ground.
Well, they asked me how many guys I would want to start with, and I told them, well, at least 6 of them. And I thought I was being a little greedy, trying to start with so many of them, because it was a situation where government was paying, or SSDF was actually helping to pay some of their salary. So it appeared like maybe I thought I was asking for too many, but they even told me they wished I could have taken 8. You'd think I'm giving a second chance to guys because there's some kind of benefit for me. But I have 2 sons, and I would want the same for them. I mean, when I train somebody, as I said earlier, it's an investment so that they can turn around and be a technician to assist me with the work that I do.
My love for mechanics started when I got my first bicycle, and because it was having some little issues, and instead of asking persons to help me, I had to learn myself. This year program, from where I started to where I am now, I've seen a major improvement, because I've met so many people, you know, that help me out in so many different ways, in terms of my career, in terms of, you know, behavior-wise, you know, in terms of, you know, they give me good advice to be more ambitious.
I think everybody deserves a second chance. Some people make mistakes, and it costs them for the rest of their life. But if you could give them a chance, they could make up for that. When he was told that, okay, there was a possibility that he would be working with my company, he was excited about it. He said, okay, he wanted to be an electrician, so that's a good time. That's a good time to leave whatever mistakes he did in the past, leave it behind and move forward. And it shows, you would come around there, you would never know that he had such a past.
There's a process that our clients go through before they become our clients, and even during that period, when persons are assigned to us. So they're assessed. That is how we have what we call a pathway plan. So that pathway plan tells us what their goals are, what their future or immediate goals are, and what their long-term goals are. It gives some insight about their situation and what, you know, their own, it's about the client themselves. It also speaks of their relations and their relationships with family and other persons, you know, within their own community. And when I say community, I don't mean necessarily the physical community, but the persons that they deal with.
There's the need to provide them with psychotherapy in order to prepare the mind for reintegration, to deal with the trauma that in the first instance would have led them down that path. The trauma of being in the facility itself, we felt that there was definitely a need to provide them with the psychotherapy to help them deal with it, to facilitate their re-entry into community and their reintegration into community. So that was an absolutely essential component of the program.
Each participant is at a stage where the counseling that they are receiving will help them to, as it were, go back and begin again insofar as their outlook, their personal wholeness, insofar as the mental health aspect of their. So in individual therapy, one-on-one counseling, participants are able to look at their lives through the lenses of wholeness.
Going to jail, yeah? Make me sit down and move my brain under my foot and put that back in my head, yeah? And I come out and the CREP program help me, and that's a watch. Just now I have my own business. You know?
The program also entails wraparound service, which is done by the wraparound officers. What this is designed to do is to attach these individuals with the necessary support services that are out there. So, for example, an individual who was incarcerated for, say, 5-6 years, a lot would have changed in society from when that person was initially out. So the duty of the wraparound officer is to get that person reacquainted with society.
We can safely say that this program has been of immense benefit to the parolees especially, because it added another dimension to their circle of support, to the support systems that are available for them to assist in their reintegration and resettlement in the community. So with our parolees, they did not just have the support of the probation and parole department, but they had the support of their wraparound officer, and that wraparound officer would help them with accessing different services in the community. So for all of us worked as a team essentially to assist with the reintegration and resettlement of our parolees.
We did not believe that it should be the sole responsibility of the SSDF to manage a program of that nature, especially given the fact that we had actually engaged key stakeholders to get the program off the ground, and we couldn't do it without the support of these key stakeholders, such as the Department of Probation and Parole, the correctional facility, the management of the correctional facility, some religious organizations, Bell Fund, CARE, the National Skills Development Center. All these agencies played a key role in delivering the comprehensive package that this program delivered to the participants.
The information received, the data that has been collected and processed, the young people who started, well, there are now 2 cohorts that have gone through the life skills component as well as the technical skills component development, small business development. I am really happy to say that this program is showing signs of success.
The leadership of the government of St. Lucia, when we communicated to them that we had this idea to get this program off the ground, was extremely supportive, and that support was actually reflected in budgetary commitments to the program. So for the last 2 financial years, we have benefited from a budgetary allocation from the government of St. Lucia for the implementation of this program. So government has shown a firm commitment to ensure that this program is successful, because there is an appreciation for the profound impact that a program of this nature could have on the effort to reduce crime in St. Lucia.
How can society help? Society has to revisit that mindset that is quick to condemn and is quick to turn the back on persons who need redemption. And many of our participants, that is what they need. They need to understand that society is not there pointing a finger at them, judging them, condemning them, but society is giving them the opportunity to walk on the path of redemption.
When you have a supportive family and coupled with the assistance of the SSDF, it reduces the incidences of our clients going back into the facility. So this is extremely important.
I see nowadays he working and he loves his job. He loves his job. He always talking about the program. He loves his job. Interested. He going and work every day. Sometimes I might take a little rest. Take a little rest on Saturday or Sunday. He's still going to work. He tell me he like his job. He going to job. He want to learn something. And when he come from there, he want to do a little business also. He say one.
Incarceration in a whole impacts the entire scope of society, because the government has to then provide for the individuals who are incarcerated. Probation and parole has to do visits to them to encourage them to live that law-abiding life. Their families are not able to see them, their children. And so I do hope that engaging in the project, at least the ones we have who have engaged in the project, they see the benefits of the project, and we hope that in the future we can reach more individuals, reach more offenders and their family to help them with that healing process.
If it wasn't for the CREP program, SSDF, like that chance or that second chance I get there, I have to say I would never, but I believe I would be in the place I am today, like without that opportunity. Look, I opened my own business. I do a course if the business enterprise.
CREP is not just helping the individual, it's helping the family. And by helping the family, you're helping the community, and by helping the community, you're helping the country.
They should continue that program to help fellas coming out of prison stay on the right path so they're able to go back there. That program, they're like something to break the cycle, you understand? You go jail, you come out, you get frustrated, go back jail. But if you go jail, you come out, CREP, they have no frustration and going back to it, from like breaking the cycle.